Hello, students. Today we're talking about John Dewey and the contributions that he made to the field of education. His creed was known as the progressive idea of education, and it was extremely new during that time because it was a time where children sat in their desks and were fed all this information from teachers who decided what the children were to learn. So that made a big difference when he came out with the idea that children have influence on what they can learn. Let me quickly go over the three ideas with you. Actually, there's six, so I'll quickly go over them. One of them is his philosophy was he believed that in order for it to be good education, there had to be this. Interactions, okay? Interactions were where children were able to learn from each other and be involved in daily activities. And it had to be based on their interests. Kind of sounds like Reggio, doesn't it? It also had to be relevant. It was really what they were learning in their day-to-day lives that he considered education. And he also believed that it should be included family and culture. He believed that teachers should be the role model. And he believed that teachers should be confident in the knowledge that they were learning. And that in order for children to succeed, those teachers had to be very knowledgeable beyond what the children knew so that they could explore with them and give them opportunities to learn in a particular area. So they needed to be knowledgeable in all areas of the curriculum. Another thing that he's known for is he actually established the first lab school. That's pretty amazing because just like Montessori, furnishings are a part of every classroom. So was Dewey's idea of a lab school. And I think probably you would agree that one of our most wonderful aspects of our early childhood program is our college lab school. I can't imagine how it would be if we didn't have it there, if we didn't have a place where you could go to firsthand know and learn and interact with children and do all the things, student teaching, do all the things that you're going to need to know as you become a teacher or a person working with young children. It's a vital part to our program. And there are universities all over the world who have, to this day, lab schools. And that's one of the biggest reasons for it, because we understand in education that if you're going to learn something, it's not just by listening to me, listening to Lori, listening to the pre-K teacher and assistant teacher. It's going to be actually doing, interacting. And that's how you will pick up your understandings and learning that you will need to know before you become employed or working with young children in a job-like basis. All right. What did you think about this statement in light of today's society? Change brings new problems, but also new opportunities. That's a quote he said to the parents when he had a meeting with them. And they really didn't know what to think of that at this particular time in history. This was a time in history where for the last 100 years it had been agriculture. And all of a sudden there was this industrial revolution going on. And society and parents were kind of overwhelmed by all these changes and what it would mean to their children's education. For us to learn from and utilize Dewey's theories of education, we must be willing to change with the times. Hmm. We know all about that, don't we? Truly, times that are changing almost every single day, and the effects that it has on children, and what we can do about it to help them with these changes that happen almost every day. I particularly liked what was said on his reason for doing activities. It wasn't because it's fun. He said it had to go a lot deeper than that, and I know that's what we teach you almost in every course, is if you're going to do an activity because it's fun, scrap it. Or come up with the reasons why you're doing the activity. Of course we want children to enjoy it. I mean, if it's not interesting and inviting, then why even prepare for an activity with the kids? It has to be something that they're really interested in and involved in. And we know, just like Reggio-inspired teaching from our lab school, it has to be an interest that the children want to learn about. I like the ice cream episode scenario in this chapter about the teacher who wanted them to really understand about ice cream. And the one child who said his favorite ice cream was Cherry Garcia. I'm sure he'd probably heard some Jerry Garcia music at his home, or he knew about Jerry Garcia's music. But just that alone would let you know he really didn't grasp what that teacher thought they needed to be learning. But then there was a better scenario with the ice cream, a much better one that they discussed, and it was more like a project approach. And those children learned so much about ice cream. One last quote from this chapter that is so true. We are educators who believe teaching is a passionate calling. It involves hours of preparation and planning that cannot possibly fit into the workday. Just not enough hours in the day. That's why our profession is one of lifelong learning. I'm still learning and hope to continue to do so. It never stops, and it shouldn't. How exciting to be a part of a program where you have so much influence on young children's lives, and you learn and hopefully put these theories into practice as you work with young children, because they are solid theories. They are based on research and child development. And so I hope as you read these chapters and learn from them that you'll take this in a personal way and prepare to use what you're learning as you become a teacher in the future. Thank you. Later.